Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here again for a short live. Today, we're going to talk about the 4 pathways of healing. Before we choose a pathway of healing, we need to know what is our dream. And I will explain why in a little bit. But first, the dream. The dream has to be something which makes you thrill, something that makes you uncomfortable or get sweaty or get too comfortable and excited, something that triggers emotion in you. And the emotion, hopefully, will be positive. Yes, the dreams, some people have dreams for distraction, for negative emotions, that cause negative emotions in the body. I wrote this in my book, Walking Next to Cancer. There was the dream to kill, constantly kill businesses, and things like that. But your dream should be positive, exciting, that causes emotion in your body. Remember, emotion causes physical changes through hormones in the body. So whichever pathway you choose for healing, mental, spiritual, physical, or medical, you need to have clear dream in front of you. Why we're doing this? Because when you have a dream, then it's so much easier in the moments when you have a fallout, when you get off the track, you have the stamina to continue on the path of healing. Without a dream, it's much more difficult. People get off the track for a very long time, and the healing process really struggles, and sometimes it just stops, and we rely on the environment, on other people, and etc. But the dream is the one that can bring your own stamina out and make it possible for you to keep going on the path you have chosen. Another thing you need is the dream team. In the moments when we get off track, we need somebody to lovingly tell us, we are behind you. You have my back. You can do it. I've seen you in life. You've been strong before. You can do it again. Or remember your dream. So that kind of people could be one person, could be other people. Usually these are friends, because they say we don't really choose siblings. People have quite a lot of problems often with siblings when it comes to support them for dreams. The reason why is people who are very, very close to you, they've seen you very often weak. And sometimes they don't believe that you can get up on your feet and keep going. So that's why I've seen it more and more that people choose friends to support them in their dream. So that will bring you to commitment. Commitment is huge. When I evaluate clients to see if I can help them, I absolutely every time ask them, what is your commitment? 1 of 10. If they tell me that their commitment is less than 8, don't take them. Because when you don't have the commitment to take this path, and no matter what, you go through it, because there are difficult moments in every pathway of healing, never mind which one you're choosing. When you don't have the commitment, you just don't take the path, or you don't finish the path. So yes, commitment is very, very important. That's why in the post I try to elaborate on commitment. Also, I have one post which is more the fun post, where you have to fill out the word. The missing word is the word commitment. And because when in the healing process, there is no bypass. You cannot do spiritual bypass, or some people now, they want to biohack the bodies and stuff like that. In the long run, it doesn't really work. Our bodies have the wisdom to heal us. And it's not us to tell them what to do. It's us to help them to create the environment so they do what they have to do. With this mind, we need to step ahead in the pathway of healing. So which are the 4 pathways of healing? First of all, there is no right order, and I will elaborate on that. We have mental, spiritual, medical, physical pathways, and I can say physical, medical, mental, spiritual. The reason why we're so different, our awareness about our bodies, about what we're going through, our condition, our awareness about our spirituality is completely different from person to person. That's why we start the pathway of healing where we feel most comfortable, most supported, where we can see ahead of us, where the dream resonates the most with this pathway. That's why we choose this pathway. I agree. A lot of coaches are saying that physical healing cannot be successful without emotional and spiritual healing first. I agree that this pathway, the spiritual pathway, is the fastest. Never mind, it looks like it's not, but it is the fastest. And when we get there, I'll explain why. But when they say that, they forget that this is the theory, and in every person it's slightly different. Sometimes we take the physical pathway, we do different changes in life, so in terms of nutrition, hydration, respiratory, exercising, sleep, and then we all of a sudden feel ready to take the next pathway, so to shift our focus on the next pathway, to be more involved in the mental or the spiritual. Like I had a client telling me recently, okay, I'm ready now to go back to my visualization, because she did this before, it was successful for her, and we did some physical work on the body, and the body got so healthy. So now her awareness is changing and is slowly shifting to the other pathways, which is amazing, because the results will start getting faster and faster for her. And I'm thrilled. I'm so happy to hear that. So that's why I can't endorse the opinion that spiritual pathway must be first. Not everybody is ready for that, and I'm not going to turn down clients if they're not ready for it, because we can take different paths to get to the same result. And usually with my clients, I take the physical one first, because mostly people have better awareness of their pain, of their body, of the physical matter, and then they come to the conclusion themselves, okay, I'm ready for emotional work, I'm ready for spiritual work, and so on. Let's talk about a little bit about the mental. So we talked about the preps. Your preps are your dream, your preps are your commitment, your dream team, and now you choose the pathway knowing the therefore. And you want to work on your mental. You have this awareness, you feel that you have to take this pathway first. Mental pathway is mostly emotional. The emotions you can be in control of. It's not that difficult when you shift your attention on them. And how we do that? When we experience emotions which are very high or very low, we just withdraw and start observing them. When you observe your emotion, you know more about it, you feel it better, because you will be able to see it from many angles. Why you experience it, what caused it, how long it lasted. Usually, Joe Dispenza says that when we are emotional, physically, hormonally, it doesn't last more than 90 seconds. This is a minute and a half. And we have to be able to come back to a balance. It doesn't happen in life always like that, including with myself. I'm not perfect by all means. But the theory is that we can control that. And I explain to my clients this way: make sure you eat well, especially when people have emotions that are too low, and also for the too high up, too positive emotions. That rule is the same, because the physical body has to be nourished. Make sure you eat well, make sure you stay hydrated, so your mood is as stable as possible, and you can handle this emotion in the best way possible. So this is the most important part for me as a coach from the mental pathway. First, to start controlling our emotions. That will give us also way more space to do other things. We won't be engaged constantly in the emotion that is damaging us, and we won't damage our body when it's negative emotion, and we will be able to do other things to be the doer in our life. Then I would like to talk now about the spiritual. I said before that spiritual is the fastest one, and yes, it is. You can again get referred to Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, and other, I call them philosophers of our time. They're scientists, but they really talk about life so much and explain important parts of life with scientific note in them, which is great. So spiritually, if you do a meditation practice of 3 hours per day for about 3 months, you will feel an enormous advancement in your physical health. Usually, the first results while working physically with people, they come after the 2nd or the 3rd month. If the client is working very diligently on the protocol. With the spiritual pathway, those results come stronger, they're permanent, because your entire awareness, your identity is changing. They say the slower you move, the faster the body heals. And this is the rest and digest principle also of the parasympathetic nervous system. But spiritually, the healing when you are in meditation is amazing. And nowadays there are researches about that, and a lot of doctors, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Tom O'Brien, Dr. Perlmutter, they all and more, they do meditate. And if you also get an information about different stars, you will see that they all do meditate or have some a ritual to start the day with some spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be meditation. Some people prefer prayer, and yeah. So this is about the spiritual one. And then I would like to mention the physical one. On the physical level, it's always the same pathway, the same rules and regulations when it comes to the foundation and the basics. And we have those 7 variables: thoughts, hydration, respiratory, breathing, nutrition, then you have movement, then you have sleep and rest and happiness. All these have to be balanced. How to balance the physical body? First, we have to know which metabolic typing we are, to know which foods are our medicine, specific medicine. And this doesn't happen right away, the knowledge, the learning of which foods are the specific medicine. We decide according to a questionnaire what metabolic type the person is, and then I give them a chart, and from the chart they have to find out those foods. The chart suggests that everybody who is, let's say, a protein type or carbo type or a mixed type is doing well on these charts of foods. But when people start eating them, it turns out that not every time they are ready for those foods, and we have to take a step back sometimes and wait a little bit for the body to pick up, and then introduce new foods. And then the typing also changes. As our health changes and our activities change, the type changes. When you travel, the type changes too. When you go to warmer places, we get to tend to be more on the carbohydrate side, because there are fruits, there are a lot of vegetables, and it's naturally the body requires more of those. So then you have to make sure your macronutrients are intact. I have a lot of cases where people wouldn't like to eat meat, which is okay in certain cases, which is okay at certain age, certain lifestyle and beliefs, but mostly we need the protein as a macronutrient. And I see a very slow healing when there isn't a building block of our body. Carbohydrates do not offer building blocks. Yes, there are amino acids in the beans and etc., but you have to combine different vegetables to get the all necessary amino acids for protein production in the body, and you have to eat enormous amounts of these vegetables, which mostly the gut of people who are healing is not ready to get so much cellulose and so much of these vegetables and to process it. The intestines, the stomach, the whole digestive system, I mean. So that's why, first of all, you knowing your metabolic type, which foods are good for you, then you do your weekly plan of nutrition, and then you make sure your macronutrients, carbohydrates, fat and protein are intact, so you can have building blocks for your health. And then physically you can take some herbs and supplements come on top when the body is well fed. If the body is not well fed, it doesn't have the resource to take those herbs and bring them to the cell. It is such a waste of time, and I'm saying it over and over again. And very often people come to me and they say, can we just work on one thing? You just give me those herbs and I will be healed. No, we can't. First, we have to make sure we feed the body. Then we start moving that body so everything flows well. And then we add herbs, supplements, and whatever needed for that process of healing. So this is about the physical healing, I would like to say. And about a few things about the medical pathway, the pathway of pills. When first people start using the pills were to temporarily suppress symptoms and give you a breather. Give your nervous system a little bit of room to be able to do what it has to do, to control well your body. But then the doctors become very busy, and nowadays they don't see the patients more than 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have a visit of 5 or 10 minutes with my patients. It is either 45 minutes or over, because I don't really work in parts. I would like to see how is doing all the systems, how they are doing. But for some reason, it's very easy. Give you the pill and keep you on the pill for life. The problem is, now we know from the practice and from the researches, those pills accumulate somewhere in the body, usually where it's your weakest point, or they have some pathways, specific pathways, where they move and they get stuck. That what is not used gets stuck somewhere in the pathway and causes problem of that tissue. And if that tissue happens to be liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, you name it, it starts working there, and it starts damaging the tissue. So we have inflammation. Then when the tissue is weak, it's a weak spot, it attracts viruses, it attracts fungi, it attracts species that they're not supposed to be there. We have tons of species in our body. We are made, before they were saying 90% of fungi, viruses, parasites and stuff like that. Now they say, and 10% human matter. Now they say it's 1% human matter. So yes, we have those, but they have to be at certain places because they have certain functions, and there must be a certain ratio in between good and bad, we call them. So this way our body functions healthily, in a healthy way. So some side effects of pills are considered mild. I don't know, how could you function when you have constantly migraines? These are mild side effects. Or you have stomach problems. When your stomach is this causes discomfort. Can you be 100% at work? Can you be 100% with your children, with your grandkids? I don't think so. It's up to you when you choose this pathway. But I would ask you to ask your doctor, I'm taking the pill for how long and what's next? And if your doctor tells you for life, just look for a second opinion, because none of the pills is for life. Of course, there are some life-threatening diseases that require a very long to take the pills to be taken very long, but the pills they ask you to take for life now are things like pill for thyroid. Now we know that thyroid, Hashimoto, and other conditions, they can be healed. You don't have to be on this centroid for life. A blood pressure, you can really improve your blood pressure. You don't have to be on the pill for life. Cholesterol, this is a lot of information nowadays, how the cholesterol pills really damage the body. Pills for pregnancy, the pills for contraceptive. Nowadays we know that they cause breast cancer. We know that some of them cause brittle bones. So you have to be very suspicious when they ask you to be on the pill for a long time. Find an open-minded doctor who can suggest a plan to wind you down from the pill, but to improve your health, so the body doesn't need this pill. I'm not in a position to do that. I work with medical health practitioners to do that, but I work on building a foundation for people so they can get off the pill. So healing is a very uplifting process, and it has to be, regardless of which pathway you take, mental, spiritual, physical, or medical. You need to plan in your head a positive outcome. This, I find, helps a lot. And don't forget, you can do it. You have the strength. The knowledge is everywhere. You just have to look for it. You can do it. You've been healthy once. You've been born healthy. You can do it.
Follow for more Transform Perform. Drop a comment if you have any questions.